Good morning all. Our next topic is single phase fully controlled bridge rectifier with resistive load. This is a bridge rectifier circuit and all the switches here are controlled switches S1, S2, S3 and S4. 4 switches are controlled switches or SCRs. That's why it is called a controlled rectifier, fully controlled bridge rectifier. And here the input is Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t, and here we have a resistive load. The voltage across the load is V0. Now you can see in the positive half cycle, S1 and S2 are forward biased. In the positive half cycle, here it will be positive, and with respect to that point, here will be negative. And you can see this S1 is forward biased because to the anode we are giving a positive potential and to the cathode we are giving a negative potential. Or you can say that this anode is more positive with respect to cathode, and here the cathode is more negative with respect to anode. So both these are forward biased. S3 and S4 are reverse biased, as we are applying a positive voltage to the cathode and we are applying a negative voltage to the anode of S3. These S3 and S4 are reverse biased and S1 and S2 are forward biased. So in the positive half cycle we can control S1 and S2. That will be forward biased, and we can give a firing pulse to S1 and S2 so that positive half cycle will come across the load. The conduction will be in the direction through S1 through load, through S2 it will go back to the source. So S1 and S2 are forward biased during the positive half cycle, and conduction will happen through the load in this direction. So across the load we can see that across the load the positive half cycle will come across the load. If it is fired at an angle alpha equal to 0, the waveform will be like this. And if we are firing at an angle alpha, if this is alpha, the voltage waveform will start from here, like that. In the negative half cycle, we can see that this will become negative and this will become positive relatively. So this negative that is connected to this becomes positive, and that is connected to S3, the anode of S3. So that will be forward biased. S3 will be forward biased, and this negative that is connected to S4, the cathode of S4. So this will also be forward biased. So during the negative half cycle, S3 and S4 will be forward biased. So the direction of conduction will be from positive. So from here the conduction will happen through S3, and through load it will complete through S4. Okay. So from the lower terminal of the source through S3 it will continue through the load, then through S4 it will go to the upper terminal. So in both cases you can see that the current enters in this terminal. So during the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle, the polarity of the load is always positive. This is positive, this is negative. So during the negative half cycle also, when S3 and S4 conducting, we get the voltage as rectified. Even though input voltage is negative, we will get the output voltage as positive. And if we are triggering those at an angle 0, we will get the full half cycle in the output. And if we are triggering at an angle pi plus alpha, you will get the voltage output as this. We will see this in the figure. the output voltage waveform for a full wave rectifier, fully controlled full wave rectifier with a resistive load. As you can see, the input voltage is like this, and we are giving the triggering here, that is at alpha, pi plus alpha, 2 pi plus alpha, like that. When we at an angle alpha, S1 and S2 are forward biased, so we are giving triggering pulse to S1 and S2, S1, S2. Then when we are giving triggering, a voltage, the input voltage appears across the load when S1 and S2. Since it is a resistive load, you can see that it will start from alpha, it will end on pi. And during the negative half cycle, S3 and S4 are forward biased, we are giving a triggering pulse at pi plus alpha. So S3 and S4 are forward biased, so we will get a positive, because even when S3 and S4 are forward biased, the output voltage appears as positive. So you can get a positive portion of the input voltage here. The negative half cycle will be rectified as positive here. And during the next positive half cycle, again S1 and S2 becomes forward biased. We are giving a triggering at 2 pi plus alpha, and voltage appears across the load like this. Now coming to the load current. At the instant when the voltage becomes high, it increases from 0, the current also increases, and it comes to 0 at the instant when voltage becomes 0, because it is a resistive load. So from alpha, when the thyristor conducts, current increases, it comes to 0 at pi. Then at 2 pi plus alpha, again the next pair of SCR conducts, then we will get the next cycle of current. Like that it continues. The thyristor will be having the input voltage across it when it is not conducting. When the thyristor is not conducting, it is getting the input voltage across that. Now you can see that in order to derive the average value of the voltage, output voltage, we have to take from alpha to pi. And we know that it repeats in every pi, because the negative half cycle also get rectified and we are getting output pulse in the negative half cycle also. So we have to take the base as pi here, because the output pulse repeats in every pi. So we are getting the average voltage as V average is equal to 1 by pi integral alpha to pi Vm sin omega t d omega t. The input voltage Vm sin omega t appears across the load in the interval alpha to pi. So you can see that Vm by pi into sin omega t integral is minus cos omega t in the range alpha to pi here. So Vm by pi into 1 plus cos alpha as the average voltage. In case of a half of rectifier, it was Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. But here it is Vm by pi into 1 plus cos alpha. We are getting 2 pulses in the output in a cycle, in a full cycle. Now coming to the RMS value. You can get the RMS value as root of the base is pi. So 1 by pi into integral alpha to pi. The instantaneous value is Vm sin omega t. That has to be squared. Vm square sin square omega t d omega t. Now we can see that 1 by pi into alpha to pi Vm square sin square omega t d omega t in the interval alpha to pi. So that is equal to Vm square by 2 pi into, if you are integrating the sin square, if you are writing the sin square omega t as 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, that has to be integrated from alpha to pi. That is equal to omega t minus sin 2 omega t by 2 and you have to give the interval alpha to pi. So this will become Vm square by 2 pi into, when you are applying the limits, you will get alpha pi minus alpha plus 1 plus cos 2 alpha raised to half. Our next topic is single phase fully controlled bridge rectifier with RL load. In case of RL load, the difference from the previous one is the current will not come to zero at the instant when the output voltage comes to zero. Here S1 and S2 will conduct during the positive half cycle. Then S3 and S4 will conduct during the negative half cycle. And you can see in the positive half cycle we are getting triggering at alpha. Then S1 and S2 start conducting at alpha. When this voltage becomes equal to 0, here the current does not come to 0. In the previous case, it was coming to 0 like this. But in this case, it doesn't come to 0. It will be having a value because of the presence of the inductance in the load, because it is a RL load. So you can see it will come to 0 after a small interval only, that we are writing as beta. At omega t is equal to beta, omega t equal to beta, the current comes to 0. Since this current is coming to 0, we can say that this is a discontinuous conduction mode of operation, because the current comes to 0 for a small interval. After coming to 0, at pi plus alpha, we are triggering to the next set of SCRs, S3 and S4. So they will conduct and current will start increasing. Even when the voltage is 0, the current does not come to 0, it continues to conduct. So in the interval, it continues to conduct, the voltage, input voltage comes across the load. So a negative portion of the voltage also coming to the load, because the current is not equal to 0 and the thyristor does not cease conducting, that is conducting. So the negative portion of the input voltage also come across the load. So during the next half cycle also, S3 and S4 starts conducting. Since the current is not equal to 0, only when the current is brought below halting voltage, the thyristors will stop conducting. But here the thyristor does not stop conducting. So the thyristor voltage continues in the negative half cycle also until the thyristor current comes to 0. That is the difference from the previous case. Due to the presence of the RL load, the inductor, the charge carriers in the load will be completed, will be discharged completely during, that will take some time more to stop conduction. Now, when you are coming to the average voltage, the angle is, the base is 1 by pi itself, because it continues in every half cycle. And the interval is from alpha to pi. The interval is from alpha to pi. So what we can do is, we can integrate V naught, the average output voltage, is equal to 1 by pi integral alpha to beta Vm sin omega t d omega t. That is equal to Vm by pi minus cos omega t in the interval alpha to beta. And you can find that, take that as a homework. Okay. The RMS value also can be found like this. Vrms is equal to 1 by pi integral alpha to pi, alpha to beta, Vm square sin square omega t d omega t, take the root of